Welcome to The Explainer. Today we're going to talk about something that sounds almost too good to be true. A trick straight from the racetrack that could save you a ton of money on gas. But, and this is a big but, it's got a really dangerous dark side. Alright, so to really get this, we've got to start on the racetrack. You've seen it, right? Cars flying around, practically glued to each other's bumpers. That's not just aggressive driving. Well, not just that. It's actually a super smart strategy. Yep, that's the race car trick. And it all boils down to the science of something called drafting, or you might hear it called slipstreaming. So it's all about physics, really. When you tuck in super close behind another car, you're basically riding in its wake. It's like a little bubble of calmer air. This pocket of air has way less resistance, so your car doesn't have to fight so hard. Right, think of it this way. A car at speed is constantly punching a hole through the air. That creates a high-pressure zone in front of it, but right behind it, that's where you get this pocket of low pressure, almost like a little vacuum. If you can get your car into that sweet spot, your engine can just chill out a bit. It doesn't have to work nearly as hard. Okay, so that's the whole idea behind riding the pressure wake. Super simple concept, right? But it's really effective on the racetrack. Which, of course, leads to a big question. Yeah, here's the million-dollar question. Does this fancy racing trick actually work for you and me, just driving on a normal highway? Can it actually put money back in your pocket? Well, you're in luck, because the folks over at Mythbusters decided to find out. They put this whole theory to the test in the real world, and what they found was, honestly, it's pretty shocking. Okay, just look at these numbers. Even at 100 feet back, which is still pretty far, they got an 11% boost to their miles per gallon. Not bad. But then they cut that distance in half to 50 feet and bam, it jumps to 20%. You can see the pattern, right? The closer you get, the crazier the savings get. And here's the headline. At just 10 feet, 10, that's less than the length of a small car, they saw a 39% increase in fuel efficiency. 39%. That is just an insane number. Okay, so right about now, you're probably thinking about trying this. But hold on. Before you even think about it, we have to talk about the catch. And it is a life or death catch that changes absolutely everything. This isn't a trick. It's a deadly gamble.
And look, don't just take my word for it. This quote is from actual engineers who ran the numbers. They did these super complex computer simulations. And their conclusion was totally blunt. To get any real benefit, you have to be at an unsafe distance. There's no way around it. You're basically choosing between saving gas and, maybe crashing.
Let's really break down how dangerous this is. The rule of thumb for safe driving is the 3-second rule. That gives your brain time to see something, process it, and hit the brakes. 3 whole seconds. When you're drafting at 10 feet, your reaction time shrinks to less than a quarter of a second. A quarter of a second. You literally can't even blink that fast. If that truck in front of you even taps its brakes, it's over. There's absolutely no room for error. So not only is it ridiculously dangerous, it's also flat out illegal. You know the 2-second rule? At highway speeds, that means you should be over 160 feet behind the car in front. Remember that 11% gain from the experiment? That was at 100 feet. So even to get the smallest benefit, you're already breaking the law and driving way too close for comfort. All right, so if slipstreaming is this crazy, illegal, deadly gamble, what's the alternative? Is there a real secret to saving fuel? A safe one? Okay, this chart is really interesting. You can see that for a regular gas car or a hybrid, yeah, you could save a couple of gallons on a long trip, but again, that's only if you're riding someone's bumper at 10 feet. But check out the line for electric vehicles. The benefit for them, even at a risky distance, is tiny, and at a safe distance, it's basically nothing. So for EV drivers, this trick is a total bust. So, the real secret? It's not some crazy, death-defying maneuver. It's actually super simple, and you have complete control over it. It's just your speed. And this right here, this is the mic drop. Let's compare. Risky drafting at 100 feet gets you an 11% gain. Okay, but just slowing down, driving safely, going from 70 miles an hour down to 50 can boost your range by 36%. 36! That's more than 3 times the benefit of the risky move, and it comes with exactly 0 chance of plowing into the back of a semi. The choice is kind of obvious, isn't it? So let's wrap this up. Look, the science of slipstreaming is cool.
It's fascinating stuff, no doubt about it. But when we're talking about real roads with real people, the numbers don't lie. The math of safety just crushes the math of efficiency here. The smartest, safest, and honestly the best way to save fuel is to keep a safe distance and just watch your speed. So you got to ask yourself, is saving a few bucks on gas really worth a risk you absolutely can't afford to lose?